Hi, Lisa.
Hello, you're all set.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, welcome to this meeting of the Finance Committee of the Common Council of the City of Kingston, calling the meeting to order at 6:39, November 18th. And let's see. Pete, join us at the table, will you? Fine here.
Your chair.
Or you can sit in one, put your feet up in the other one. Okay. All right. Any big news, any surprises, any exciting developments in your budget?
No big stuff.
A lot of little ones then? Okay. Well, we're seeing an advance in overtime pay. Does that have anything to do with the number of personnel you've got right now?
Right now, the amount of people we have on long-term sick. Yes.
Oh, okay. So, in essence, you've got the positions filled, you don't have the person power.
Right. But now we have 4 people on long-term sick.
Okay.
And how long does long-term sick usually last? It
We
depends on
have
the
364 days.
Oh, really? Okay.
All right then. What else? Other questions? Are you expecting some retirements here soon?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
is that the reason for the fire retirement? Yeah.
Yeah. We expect 4 to 6 next year. Really?
Wow.
And is that because they're reaching retirement age or?
Yes, they reached retirement age or they got years.
Okay. I think you said
Yeah.
I love solution is right.
Okay.
So when the people who are retiring do retire, will the people on long-term sick hopefully be back by then? So will they fill those positions or will you be hiring? Or you just have to wait and see?
Wait and see. Doctors will say.
Got it.
It's tough to say. Between the shoulder injury and the injuries.
Right. Right.
And then contracted services, there's a new $80,000 there.
That is for the fee for the client. Fee down rate. In 45.
5472 contracted services. An amount that didn't seem to be in 2025, but I think
Basically goes to the number, line 9 number.
But
5472. Let's see if I can find, I know they don't line up with the,
5471 appears twice.
Okay, you're in EMS budget.
oh, that's an EMS.
There's 2 different budgets here. The one's for
Right.
fire, one's for EMS. So,
yeah.
So
Right.
3410 is fire.
Yeah.
And the 4540 is the EMS. That's right.
Yeah.
That is for the collection QMC that does our billing.
Oh,
That's the
got it.
anticipated fee
I see.
for the year. Right now, we're paying it out of 3410.
I think I've asked this before, but I don't remember the answer. What's the Kelly Day payback?
The Kelly Day payback. You have holiday payback and Kelly Day payback. If we're working over 40 hours or Kelly for working holidays. So holiday pay, Kelly pay. It's just instead of it's a little paying overtime. Because some weeks you work 48 hours or more on straight time. And the Kelly time is what makes it up. All right, it's an equation that they use, accountants use. and what anticipate on how many how many hours over 40 hours that they work, but do not get paid overtime.
Okay.
So at the moment, a week, they work 224, it's 48 hours. There's no overtime. So holidays or holidays that they work, you don't get paid extra for that. Straight time.
Okay. You know, why is it on here twice?
It's where again, there's two budgets here. 3410 is the fire side,
Oh, okay.
and the 4540 is the ambulance side. You gotta, so I guys might split these two.
You're bumping up the revenue for the ambulance. It's good.
Yes.
People are paying. That's a good thing, right?
Well, we do everything possible to get every dime we can.
Yeah.
You know, making sure every PCR that is submitted counts. Doesn't get, if it does get rejected, we get it sent in our email. Get the paramedic, fix whatever's missing and get it right back to QMC so that they can collect on it. So there's, you know, we know we're running the gun. We need to.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing.
Well, the only one in the 3410 in the fire department side is employee training. You see that increase by $10,000. That is a grant that we got, and that is for training for the new boat that's coming in the fall next year. So that training will be held at the FDNY down on Randall's Island. But that's grant money that we received for training.
But you're gonna need any training for this battery thing that's going in and all.
We've been going to training for those batteries, lithium batteries, for the last 3-4 years. So, you know, we've heard all the experts talk. We've gone around. You know, I sat on with the thing that's happening out in the town of Ulster. I sat in on those and listening. And, you know, it's just that it's not in our jurisdiction.
Yeah, it's gonna be you.
It's gonna be us. Yeah, but it's.
If it goes in.
There's a lot of learning has occurred over a couple of years. A lot of new technology has occurred on the manufacturing of it.
Yeah.
But it pretty much comes just like a car, like the electric cars. Leave it alone.
Right.
Isolate it, leave it alone.
Right. Right.
It'll make things worse.
Yeah.
So then we just went to one and just heard another FDNY and hazmat talk on it. We were just there last week. And pretty much it was, again, leave that box alone.
Mhm.
It protect the two explosion boxes, two on one on each side, just protect those two. And you gave very good argument on the fact of the smoke. They've done testing on smoke,
Is it bad?
same as house light burns.
Okay.
Well, depends on, yeah, I guess it depends on which studies you see and which chemicals they're testing for.
There
What I'm
is-
learning.
Yeah, there's quite a few. You know, there's quite a few chemicals within the smoke itself. But when a house burns, there's quite a few
Oh,
chemicals.
sure,
within.
just when anything burns.
Yeah.
At
There,
least you can put a house fire out with water.
No, that's true.
unless it's grease.
Car's on fire.
Right, so I'm looking at the personnel summary. And so is there an overlap between firefighter, because I'm looking at the ambulance and the fire? And you have firefighter 4 listed under ambulance, firefighter 3 listed under ambulance, and firefighter 2. So is there like an overlap?
No, the pay structure.
Oh, that's in the pay structure.
That's the pay structure.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
but-
it's not like an identifier
No.
for the,
No, that's why the firefighter 3, there's 9 firefighters. They're new,
okay,
you know, just a year and a half on. They're, you know, they'll be going next year in 2026, they'll reach the 3rd year on the job. So the salary's based, there's 9 of them on a firefighter 3 salary.
okay. But they are firefighter.
Well, everybody in the fire department is a firefighter.
No, but under the ambulance,
Yes,
they will accompany the EMS.
they were hired for the ambulance.
the firefighters will have hired for the ambulance.
Correct. All firefighters.
All your guys are firefighters and EMTs.
All firefighters are all firemen that are employed are both a firefighter and an EMT. We have 15 of them that are a firefighter paramedic.
Oh.
So everybody working today, the fire down on Second Avenue, you had 14 firefighters on scene, 3 minutes. How they got there was different vehicles, but the ambulances were there because they are firefighters also. But both ambulances never go to work together.
They just didn't change the name of the line,
Right.
like.
This is, the comptroller wanted it broken out.
Mhm.
That's what he wanted. So, and the same thing goes on the firefighter side, is that firefighter 1, 2, 3, 4, that's water or paper scale, is that.
So jumping off of what Bob was saying about the hazmat, here it says hazmat contract mutual aid, there's $30,000 in the budget. And is that something, how has that typically been spent in recent years? Like, what are some of the examples of where you've been called
That,
to?
that, right now, it's under hazmat, it's emergency services.
That's where it's listed, but it's any time you're called for mutual aid.
Mutual aid for emergency services, meaning hazardous materials spill, high angle rescue, find space.
Mhm.
You know, those type of things, special ops they call them. That's what it is.
Okay.
So that is a dollar value, $30,000 that was negotiated between the city and the county. And that is to offset the cost of training,
Mhm.
materials not being reimbursed to us,
Right.
and or the overtime caused by people leaving the city to go respond out in the county.
Right. And so typically the fire department would send a bill. Is that how it would be? Send a bill to the county or to the municipality where that was being aided, or you don't do any?
The only people we can bill are spillers for hazardous materials.
Oh, I see.
To the people we can bill. So if they don't pay, it's always, so we always fight our bill. Our bill, bill, our bill. But, then it goes on through litigation if the city chooses to.
I see.
But that is to try to offset some of the costs associated with us providing special operations out in the county.
And that money comes from the county.
Yes.
Got it. Thank you.
Sure, we don't, if we respond to a car crash, do we bill the insurance company for that or not? We don't do that.
Right now, no, we do not.
Okay.
We are looking into that. City of Albany does that.
Right.
We are looking into that. That's manpower, which we don't have for that.
Right.
Maybe not going to the accident for the billing portion of it. But, and that's setting the fees. And again, that's a lot of paperwork and making sure. What we are doing though is if we go to a car wreck, we will bill the owner's insurance for the medical portion of it first. Before you go after their personnel. So if I crash my car and, they pick me up, then the bill would go to Travelers first.
Mhm.
And then, if not, then Chris Ray second.
Mhm. Okay.
And you're getting something on you got one piece of equipment on the capital thing?
Yes, that's an SUV. It's an SUV. Right now, our flag park, which runs out into the county, is 2013. So that is a full ALS equipped vehicle. And what we do, if the county calls for assistance out in the county, it's read about the county and that plan that they have as far as, helping out the EMS system. We'll send one medic out of the city in a flag car and then meet up with a volunteer ambulance or commercial ambulance out there. That's a BLS ambulance. And they'll provide advanced life safety services to that person and ride in with their ambulance, not ours. So and how it works on the majority of the time is whoever drove the ambulance to the scene, they'll take our flag car, bring it to the hospital as our medics in their ambulance.
Get back.
Yeah, they get back.
Right.
Yeah. So, and that is something that we do, when we do go out there, we actually will, the county is actually doing the billing and for us, and we will get the fee. So plus the money that we've gotten from the county already. We got, startup, then maybe a second check coming for continuation of that. But we, as of November 1st, I can't tell you the number off the top of your head, but we've been going, like I said, one just came back from his office. But at all times, it doesn't matter. We will not go outside the city if there isn't a full ALS ambulance available in the city. We will not go outside the city. So we can always put together a BLS ambulance with 2 EMTs. We can put them together, all day long. It's the ALS one that we must have one in the city available. Not going to the hospital or at the hospital. They can be at the hospital, but they gotta be signed off. They gotta have the signatures and everything, releasing the patient, transfer the patient to the hospital, or we won't go. And we have turned down calls just for that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So again, under revenues and fire department, in 2025, you got, 263,000 from New York State. Is there any reason you're not expecting that or having?
That was Senator Henchy's grant for the ambulance.
Oh, I see. So that was a one-time.
One-time thing, yes.
I have a question, just going back to, but like, home batteries,
Okay.
bike batteries, seeing. We've been in the news a lot about bikes
Mhm.
and not the like UL.
You are listening.
Yeah,
Yes.
so are we seeing home fires here?
We haven't seen a lot. I think there's been 2 fires with batteries since the coming of them. One was with Roby battery from Lowe's product, Roby.
Really?
Yes. Another one, I can't tell you what the product was, the name of it, but there were, fires that didn't cause a significant amount of damage. But, we have gone out in the county and taken computer batteries and stuff like that and put them in. We have cell block, which it's called, which we've basically submerged the battery in a metal can with cell block. And that neutralizes the battery. We don't bring the batteries back though. It's not our responsibility to dispose of. So we have gone out probably half dozen times to the county. Again, computer battery, cell phone battery, or not radio battery, but stuff like that. We've gone out. So we have different sizes of non-combustible pails, lids on it for which side the battery is, which one's going to go. But that doesn't get a full response. It just gets 2 people going out there.
Right.
Well, that's good.
No,
Now I know who to call if my cell phone starts,
That's-
setting up fire.
yeah, that's true. That is true. Some people weren't happy that we left it there with them, but it was like we neutralized it. That's what we do. Everything else, we don't dispose of anything. But we don't bring it back.
Anything else?
Most of the numbers are pretty similar to what they were last year.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. And the only thing is, we're the ambulance part of it. That's where we buy the drugs at the 45 or 485 or 479. That's where we buy the drugs and the supplies for them. We only got one. We don't have a full year on legal help really until
Right.
this year. To December, I know exactly what we spent for 2 ALS ambulances. And then a little bit for the flag car going out as a 3rd ALS. Then we have a very good number for the following year.
Mhm.
So this is just, again, look at last year's, look at this year, the calls are not gonna go down.
Yeah.
So But, that's a little sketchy on that side, whether or not we're gonna hit the mark there or go over it. You know, we just don't have those good numbers.
So on the capital plan, you have here, you want a 4x4 sport utility vehicle. Which sport do you want to use it for?
It's
Fly fishing.
yeah. Now, it's an SUV, it's an SUV, I got specs from the KPD for their Durangos. And I plan on, just like I did with the ambulance, buying one off the lot. And it's gonna be white, and we should put red stripes down on it, she's ready to go. And it'll take the place of the Fly Car, which is a 2013 SUV.
Is it gonna be electric?
No,
Okay. KPD's got a couple, few electric cars,
did it?
which they seem to like. Don't wanna touch on.
Is it a Durango? The Durango?
I mean, I think they're Fords. I think they're white Fords.
Okay. No, it's just, again, stuff that we gotta carry in the back of the vehicle for the Fly Car per New York State DOH.
So it won't need any special, accoutrements, won't need special, design on the inside.
Now, all they're gonna need it on the police package, and we'll go wire a cage for the divider, so that everything's in the back, if, stop short, doesn't come forward. And, that'd get, up, put the lights on it, and the radio, there's nothing special about this, there's nothing at all. It's something to get them to and from the, going out in the county. So.
Okay.
Obviously, it'd be used in the city, like it would, like cars would be used right now in the city. So,
All right. Everybody okay with that?
Mhm.
Despite being cagey on which sport it's. All right. Thank you, Chief.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank you
Jerry.
for all you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And even though I hope I never have to use your services, I'm glad that you're providing them.
Dude, like, wow, I'd like to see it.
Not bad. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
She didn't want to tell you, but I think I did. Rabbits.
You afraid of that? Stay back there? You stay back there? You afraid of it? Is it
My
tough
first.
questioning?
This is fine.
All right, good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right, so we're starting at page 77. Building safety. Do you all want to tell us anything? Anything big is happening? There is a new person we're looking at hiring in your department, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, two positions actually. I think in our, like, finance committee, we have talked about increasing, positions for our department.
Mhm.
We were initially talking about three. One of the positions we pulled out, which was going to be a building inspector position, to assist with, getting permit reviews done quicker. Jen actually found an AI software that we want to try first and see if that's going to help us to move the permit reviews along faster before we come in for that and stuff. You'll see that later in the service contract budget for that software. One of the things. But the two positions we are requesting, one is for another clerk for our office.
Right. Let's see.
The amount of foils and stuff that we're getting, but not just the number of additional foils, it's the amount of information and documentation that's being requested now. They're taking a lot of staff time, something that we obviously have to do and have to comply with. But, you know, we definitely need, more assistance with that. And additionally, with our increased enforcement efforts, the amount of mailing and documentation and stuff, so overwhelming our current clerking staff. The second position is Director of Enforcement and Compliance. Is a position that you know, we've been speaking with the mayor about. I know that he's spoken with some council members on the enforcement through our office, and this person, you know, would be hired to come in and kind of review our processes and create internal manuals and stuff for us, and then review, you know, our documents you know, so that our inspectors are preparing their accusatories and appearance tickets for people that aren't complying with our orders to remedy. Review those documents, schedule those appearances in court, and then work with the council to make sure that our files and documentation are tight, so that if they need to take it to court, that we're in good shape.
It's just part-time?
It's full-time. You know, again, working with the mayor and stuff, that position wouldn't start until July.
Okay, so that's why it's point.
That's why.
Oh, okay.
See, I see, you said you get a lot of foils. And what kind of information are the foiling?
Well, you have, you know, you have people looking at real estate that are following information on properties. You do have people that might be at legal cases that want documentation on properties to assist with their legal cases. Then you have companies that request the same information month over month and stuff. Whether they're compiling that information and selling it, whatever they're doing with it, we don't know. But we have a number of companies that do that every month. And then we have, you know, some larger developers that has inundated most of the city with FOIA requests, and I'd probably say 85% of the foils that come into the city touch our office. Yeah, and we have to provide documentation for that.
Yeah, I can believe it.
So this will be a dedicated foil officer. It's a good thing.
Well, I mean, right now we have someone that's spending about 70% of their time doing FOIA requests, and it's still overwhelming. And then they have other responsibilities too. You really are our commercial fire inspections and stuff. You know, we're really trying to get that ramped up and stuff to get those buildings in the compliance. And you know, when we hired the initial clerk, that was going to be her major responsibility, and foils were kind of her secondary thing, but you know, on more of a larger role.
I have a question about the AI software. Do you have a goal for turnaround time? I mean, if you're gonna, measuring how this works will be interesting, but I would expect you'd want to have, some sort of goal for how long the turnaround is for, if the AI is working.
Yeah, it also depends. One of the biggest issues are reviews. What happens is that the initial package that we get is substantially in deficit of items that are required.
Yeah.
So you're looking at, permit reviews on top of that. And that's usually what's pushing most of the permit applications out, is that we don't get what is required in the initial submission.
Right. So they complete application.
Yes.
Yeah. I assume there's some guidance out there for people to take, that there should be. For people to know what they should submit. you know?
Yeah, on the permit applications, there's a list of
Right.
things that need to come in, so.
But if it works, it'd be good.
And will the new position of Director of Enforcement be working directly with the inspectors too, to make sure that they're also doing the due diligence that they need to do when they're doing the inspections? So this is sort of an oversight position.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Do you expect any retirements this year?
I do not.
So, can you explain to me like line 471, contracted expenses? Is that 37,000 for a position, what's recommended? You
Right.
requested 3,500.
Mhm.
And then you were given 37,000 and that's cover,
Right. So, 35 is the service contracts are like, your copier contracts.
Mhm.
So 3,500 was for the copier contract. We had the 6,000 of that is for the software.
okay?
And then 27.5 of that is the SDR software. That was in housing initiative budget, but because the revenue comes in our budget, the mayor thought it made more sense just to move that over to our. So,
Yes, you have probably $5,500 for road costs. And the mayor mentioned tents. That's a new problem, or a recent problem. You have enough money to cover your weekend calls for tent people?
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah, well, the tent thing,
Right,
technically anything over 400 square feet
right.
or an aggregate of 400 square feet of tents, should be inspected by. We do go out, we're at, Brickyard for their events, doing inspections there. And it normally takes a few inspections, doing when they are setting up. And then we go usually the day that, the event is happening, because even though we tell them not to cook under tents with open flames, we get there and there's always a couple that still do it. Yeah.
Is it like a series of pop-ups would trigger this? I mean, it's 400 square feet in the code,
Right.
but if I had, 5 pop-ups, would that trigger an inspection?
So,
You got going up.
yeah, I mean, I certainly use common sense and stuff with respect to this and stuff, but, you're having, 3,000 people at an event and you got 15 of these pop-ups and stuff. We want to make sure that distance is spaced properly, they're away from combustibles and not right next to the house and it's cooking under them. That type of.
I would expect it to be less rigorous with pop-ups, but I mean, because they're less vulnerable.
So you have, under demolition of unsafe buildings. So you have an expense of $125,000 and then you get reimbursed $125,000. Well, how does that work?
Right, so, if we have to, like, early in this year, we have to take down that property, so then it goes on the tax levy.
Oh, so you get reimbursed from the tax levy?
Right.
Okay. Do you ever get that money?
Well,
Yeah.
it is very tough. Some properties, you might, the land is still valuable, so you might recoup some of the money and not all of it.
Just to follow up again on the pop-ups. What about something like the farmer's market where it's sort of a similar situation? Do you have to go every week to look at that because some of the pop-ups change, or can you just sort of give advice the first time and then you sort of go around and look or how's?
Yeah, something every weekend like that, we would probably, we probably want to just do spot checks and
A
stuff.
bunch of, once you look at it initially to make sure the arrangement.
So who's paying the fee, the individual vendor or the whole market?
That would be up to whoever organizing it, how they wanna
Pass
pass the funds or.
Yeah, I think we've heard expressed some concerns about some of the not-for-profits that host festivals and, have pop-up tents and is that going to be prohibitive, for them to pay the fee?
Correct. I think we're looking at like $100 for the tent, permit, and then an inspection fee of $125. Those events have 30, 40, 50 tents at it.
Right, yeah, those are big events
And that per year, that charge?
That charges per
for events.
Per event.
So the farmer's market, it would be, the event is every Saturday, right? Not thought of one ongoing the season.
Yeah, I probably we'll probably have a conversation with the mayor about how he wants to handle an event like that and stuff that's ongoing. We're looking at more, one-time events.
And the farmer's market's on county property anyway, right? It's in the parking lot, the county.
No, it's not even.
Yeah, it's not our
even
jurisdiction.
Our jurisdiction.
Oh, it's like a foreign nation's embassy.
Yes.
Oh, very nice.
Like this-
They're in the buildings, right?
Oh, like-
The county do that?
The county does.
Do that?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're food inspectors, definitely.
Oh, interesting.
County is building inspectors also for their own property, their own building.
Anything else?
Be interesting to see how this thing will shop. It'll be good to watch.
Yeah, we're more interested to see that.
Yeah.
Anything that can help us say it's.
You're not afraid that it'll take over your job?
No.
It'll replicate itself and grow and be soon?
Oh, no.
They're a long ways from that. Okay.
What's difficult with the permit reviews too is that, we're generating documents, notes, and this will hopefully automate those notes so that it'll, we'll do the review, it'll assist with the review, but mostly it'll come up with that printout that's hopefully going to
So make your FOIL life easier.
That's right. Yes.
Talking to the machine.
We'll see.
All right. Anything
Yeah,
else?
let us know how it goes. I'll be curious to, hopefully it'll make these.
I think that's it.
Thank you, sir.
We didn't have anything on the, we didn't have anything on the, plan list, right?
Yeah, no.
Nothing. All right, good. Done.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night. Have a good rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Tim?
You have any?
Maybe she's in there too long.
Not too faint.
I mean, that's your work. All right. So let's see, I believe. What's our next? I believe the next is you, right?
Monday, right?
The-
Yeah, the budget review is on. If anybody has ideas for the,
Yeah, Monday.
any changes to the budget, you can let me know before then, because any change we make to the budget can have, it's a little bit like the butterfly effect, a little change over here can have a big effect over there. So think through a couple of things. One is building DPW had the two positions that are not going to be, according to the current budget, not filled until halfway through the year. So one question came up, is there a way that we can fund those positions for the full year? Because DPW really needs them. We talked about the possibility of increasing the revenue estimate in a place or two. That always makes John nervous. So that's something to think through though, because we do have that. Remember too, that it's roughly any $100,000 we add to the budget is 1% to the final levy. So if we
And the reverse.
reduce by a job,
Yeah.
then we reduce by a percent. But to get it down to the tax cap, we would have to do some significant work. So I believe it was almost $2 million if we wanted to get down to the tax cap. We'd have to remove $2 million from the budget.
Yeah.
And as of course, part of the problem is the vast majority of our budget is through contractual requirements to the three unions.
Yeah.
So, I do believe that certain departments overuse paper clips, but I don't think paper clips are going to do it. We reduce the number of paper clips that we. But there are some possibilities. We've talked too about, various raises, whether to go through with those or not. And we can, of course, decide to go in either way. Those. We could decide to increase raises, but generally, if there's anything you see that would need to be an increase, you would think it through in terms of where is some place where we could either pull some money or increase a revenue estimate responsibly. All right,
So every 100,000 would be a 1% drop.
or change. It either adds 1%.
Right.
We could go up. Right?
Yeah, and again, that's rough because that's, as you know, if you add somebody at $100,000 salary, that doesn't include the benefits,
Right.
which would actually be more.
Right.
Those sorts of. But it's good if we can know those in advance. The point of the meeting on Monday is to have these discussions. But the more we know in advance, the more I can let John know so that he can put out, develop some scenarios of what happens if we do this or that.
Okay.
So you don't see any problem with this happening through email?
Yes, we can't do it we can't have a discussion via email. If you send me questions and say, what if we do this? Then I can send that on to John and he can develop a scenario so if somebody sent me a thing saying, if we funded these two positions for the full year and we reduced the money in this department over here, how would that look for the budget in the end?
So you'll entertain scenarios, but we shouldn't have a discussion in the email.
Well, John would bring the scenarios to the meeting. We wouldn't have any discussion for that.
Right.
Questions?
We propose scenarios, no discussion. That's fine.
Right, but they go to me,
Right.
not to the whole world.
Because then we've entered into a discussion.
Yeah.
So we cover him with questions.
Or salt. Feel more like a salt, actually.
So would it be appropriate to ask Mr. Ham what he thinks of what he's heard?
First, ask if he's paid attention.
I always pay attention. It's just that, it's a tough slice, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's what it is. Numbers don't lie, people lie. And, you have departments and all the heads come in here and, they're working under staff, under budget. Tough road ahead here. What's going on in the federal government, it's going to trickle down into small municipalities. Those lines, people have to be ready for a roller coaster ride. And, it's a tough decision here when you sign on to the council and you've got to make decisions on behalf of the entire city, how you're going to negate keeping services that, for economic growth, and health, and, you've got to fund that in one way. So, I mean, taxes are inevitable. I mean, we've been pretty fortunate here that we've ran 10 years without an increase on taxes, and, subsidies are going to dry up. Department heads, I mean, building department, tremendous job, fire department, tremendous job, police,
I know.
DPW, you know?
It's,
I
it's,
mean,
they also
it's
say-
just,
What are we gonna not do?
it's very hard to find a 10% cut in every one of these budgets, and they do the best they can.
Right.
And, it's a lot of hard decisions, nothing's made, easily. I know that. I've negotiated probably over 300 contracts and on behalf of people, and, some days you're on top, some days you're not, So everything is, it's tough. It's very tough, but when they come in and it's a necessary, they need it. And, it's hard to slice it. And, and Rennie, when he just put it out there, trying to get under the tax cap or to the tax cap. I'd rather,
Yeah.
I'd rather juggle 3 chainsaws out in the park. So,
Wait, are they running or not?
it's all running. Yeah,
Yeah.
high risk. So, but, it's a tough time. It's a tough time to be, anywhere in politics right now and, make these.
But you decided to jump in right about now.
Excuse me?
But you decided to jump in right about now.
Yeah, I did. I did. I've got a couple of pretty good ideas, if they're 40 years have been around this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? I've got a couple things, but you want something, you got to throw it out there, put it on the wall, see if it sticks, get everybody chiming in, and, you get surrounded by, a great supporting cast who has, knowledge on something all the way across the borders. And, everybody brings it to the table. And then we try to pluck away, do the best you can for your constituents and the whole city of Kingston. So, I'm looking forward to it.
I didn't mean for it to be an.
No,
I just
All good.
hear another perspective. As the budget presently stands, what would that look like in terms of an increase in property taxes?
I mean, the actual dollar amount?
Yeah, do we have any projection?
They said in his address.
Do you remember what he said?
I think you said
I don't remember what he said, but you're right. He did say it in the address.
$18 I won't say 18, but I could be wrong.
So the city tax rate, per $1,000, the homestead would be going from $9.87 to $10.78. So that's 90 cents per $1,000. So that would be 90 cents per thousand, $9 per 10,000, $900 per 100,000.
Mhm.
So, and you're asking for the dollar.
Yes.
So that is an increase
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Non-homestead is going up also.
So,
Almost, yes, almost 17. Yeah, going up a lot also.
But in terms of percent, it's less actually than last time. So the percent last year that we increased the budget is higher than the percent we're talking about increasing it this year.
It's higher than.
So,
what scares me is that half our budget is sales tax.
I know.
And if things go south and people don't spend money, that's going to hurt us. If things are good and people spend money, that's going to help us.
but where I come from, going south is a good thing. So
I know for many of us is not the case. And Michael points out, I think he's right, the fact that the service area on the thruways reopened helps us because that's our sales tax.
The service area.
Yeah, the service area on the
Oh,
thruways.
yes.
That helps us.
Right,
Now, I don't know
right.
how much it helps us,
Right.
but it helps us some.
Right.
Things like that are kind of unknowns. you know, how much it's gonna help. It's like an artist. But. So, you know, I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah,
There,
yeah, we
Chick-fil-A
can't
over
really
there?
predict.
I don't go there. But others do.
Not on Sundays.
On Sundays. Others do. I don't do that. But you know, there's. To me, it's the sales tax is the big scary unknown.
Yeah, and I think it is, we're right to be somewhat cautious. At the same time, there's no specific information, you know, that's saying that a recession is coming, for example. We know that there's a lot of instability because of the actions of the current administration. But we've seen also that some of the most dire predictions about their policies of international tariffs have been softer than we feared they were going to be. That's partly because a lot of businesses have eaten the increase in cost, you know, have reduced their profit margins. But it's, you know, it's the part of the problem is we're in a very unusual place in terms of economic forecasting.
Yeah, and in terms of sales tax for Ulster County, like a quarter of the sales tax comes from the sale of gas cars. And so now you have more electric cars on the road, especially up here. And so there may be some like permanent diminution in sales tax together if you couple with the fact that people are just feeling insecure and not buying. So I don't know how safe I would be with changing John's sales tax.
You know, the gas
for the
tax thing,
forecast.
if you know this, you know, the gas tax thing is gonna kill us from a public works perspective. That's how our highways are funded. You know, and the fact that all these electric cars are out there, these people are not paying
Right.
a gas tax. And so that the funding highways in transit is at risk.
Right.
We have to come up with a better way. They've been taking out of the general fund to make it whole, but at the end of the day, we're gonna have to come up with a different way to fund our transportation system.
I will note that every year that I've been on the council, John has been on the low side in terms of his estimates about our revenue.
Yeah, it's very conservative.
It's very conservative, and all of my budget understanding over the years has been to always aim low in terms of revenue and high in terms of expenses, because when you can't control it and you're trying to be cautious, you don't want to anticipate revenue that you're not going to get and find yourself in trouble.
How low has he been on average? Is there like a 10%, 5%, 3%? Like what's the variance that you?
Oh, I haven't done the numbers on that, but he has always been under, his estimate has always been under the actuality.
So if we were to bump it up by 5%, let's say,
We'd be in trouble.
we'd be in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we could go back and look, right, and see where some of the revenues have where
Exceeded what he
have exceeded the actual
Right.
budgeted amounts.
Yeah, and some of those, again, you know, circumstances are difficult to foretell. Like we thought when we closed down for COVID that we would see sales tax fall. In fact, it rose because we didn't stop and think that, you know, all these people from the city would move up here. But I will point out too, that now that Mom Donnie has been elected, there's going to be 1 million people from New York City moving up here. So this is likely to increase our sales tax precipitously. So I think 5%, 10%. When you think about 1 million people added up here,
Yeah.
Now,
Or the National Guard shows up.
Yeah, right.
the CPC fund that we set up, the community preservation,
yes.
how is that doing? Because I don't know that we had that as a revenue.
No,
That's completely
it's
separate.
completely separate because it funds its own.
It's very
it
limited
funds
to
the-
what it can fund.
It funds.
It funds housing, it funds historic preservation, it funds parks.
It doesn't fund housing.
Mm-mm.
I believe it does.
No, it's
No.
Like, I can, like,
I'm sorry, it funds historic
Some historic stuff.
So, yeah, some historic
Preservation.
stuff.
And some
Yeah.
Open space,
spaces,
like
things like that, yeah.
Right. So we haven't seen any revenue generated from that.
Yeah,
Where would that have been?
it's got money. Yes, John.
Yeah,
He's-
John-
He's given us reports on it.
Didn't they use
But it's
to buy
not-
a big piece of property over in,
We purchased that property prior to that money getting generated. So we did say that as that money came in, we would
it was gonna, we're
allocate,
gonna
yeah,
repay ourselves for that purchase.
for that 400,000
The
of
big
our
one.
share.
Right.
Mhm. So we also have like the, recreation fund. That's
Mhm.
also a separate thing that's not in the
I
this
see.
budget because the way it's organized is the money has to be spent on very clearly defined things. And it's a different pot, if you will. So we can't borrow, it's not, the federal government can borrow from Social Security, well, they couldn't, but they do. But we can't pull money from either of those two places for our general fund expenses.
Recreation's, I think, about $500,000 now, maybe.
Yeah,
After the pickleball,
Well, that was the first one there, it's almost done.
Is it?
Well, they have to get, yeah, the soundproofing is not installed. Hasn't been delivered, everything else is done.
you need to charge fees for that.
Okay, all right. I'm good with that. Set a little booth and be good.
Yeah.
I'm not-
Oh, man.
Nice
Well,
lemonade
yeah.
stand.
Sorry.
Just like a,
all right, are we done then?
I think we're done, yes.
Second, all in favor?
Bye.
Aye. All right, we're done. Thank you.
Good night.